Have you ever wondered why your cell phone is always plugged in, even though it's new? The truth is that, without realizing it, most people adopt habits that silently drain the battery, and they don't even realize that they're shortening the lifespan of their device. It may seem like an exaggeration, but using animated wallpapers, leaving the brightness at maximum, or always using fast charging could be sabotaging you right under your nose. And the worst part, many of these mistakes are treated as normal. But in this video, you'll discover all the tips and curiosities that can transform the way you use your cell phone, without spending anything, just with simple adjustments. The promise: more battery, less frustration. And who knows, maybe even some savings at the end of the month. Now tell me, are you ready to rethink everything you thought you knew about how to take care of your smartphone? Just imagine. You choose that beautiful wallpaper, full of vibrant colors and animations that look like a work of digital art. Beautiful, right? But what almost no one tells you is that all this charm has a hidden price. It's like carrying a backpack full of rocks without realizing it. Your cell phone slows down, and the battery goes down the drain. Backgrounds like this require more from the graphics processor, which works twice as hard just to maintain that fluidity of movement. And do you know what that means? Constant energy consumption, even when you think it's idle. For those who spend a lot of time away from home and depend on their cell phone for everything, from ordering a car to solving problems at work, this becomes a silent trap. A fixed, dark, or neutral-toned background may seem boring at first glance, but it's like that calm friend who never lets you down. A good example: try using a black or dark blue image, without animations. In addition to being elegant, it saves energy and also reduces the glare in your eyes. And here's a fun fact: some animated wallpapers are, in practice, mini applications running in the background. It's like leaving a tap running in your pocket. Doesn't that sound like an exaggeration? It's not. This also affects the performance of games, video calls, and even when opening apps. A heavy wallpaper can be the reason your phone suddenly freezes, and you think it's your carrier's fault. Many people have never thought about this, but changing your wallpaper is already a powerful tip for extending battery life. And this opens up space for another issue that almost no one considers in everyday life: the impact of extreme temperatures. Want to see how this influences your phone's performance even more? It may seem like an exaggeration, but cell phones suffer from the weather almost as much as we do. You know that urge to put your device in the freezer to cool down after playing a game or recording a long video. Bad idea. Lithium batteries work like sensitive organisms, and temperatures below zero can crystallize the internal electrolyte, which, in practice, is like freezing a body's blood. The result: loss of performance and even irreversible damage. On the other hand, extreme heat is also a villain. Leaving your cell phone exposed to the sun on the dashboard of your car, for example, is an invitation to tragedy. In more serious cases, overheating can cause the battery to swell and, yes, even explode. In addition, heat accelerates the aging of internal components. So, here's a valuable tip. Whenever possible, keep your device in airy environments and away from direct light. It may seem basic, but it makes all the difference in the long run. A practical example: going to the beach or a barbecue on the weekend. Bring a thermal case or keep your cell phone well protected inside your backpack. Those who live in cold regions, such as Serra Gaúcha or southern Argentina, can use the inside pockets of their jackets or even those cases with thermal lining. It may seem like a silly precaution, but it is one of those tips that help extend the life of your device and avoid unpleasant surprises. Many people worry about storage, processor, memory, but they forget about the environment in which their cell phone is placed. And that is where an interesting fact lies. Even when it is not in use, the simple fact of being in extreme heat or cold causes wear and tear on the device. And speaking of wear and tear, there is another everyday factor that accelerates this process more than you might imagine. Fast charging is like that strong cup of coffee after lunch. It works well in times of need, but if it becomes routine, it comes at a high price. Most modern cell phones support this function, but what almost no one talks about is that it increases the temperature of the battery and, as we saw before, heat and battery do not make good friends. In the long term, this habit reduces the charging capacity. That is, your cell phone starts to addict and no longer holds energy as before. It seems practical, but it is a real shot in the foot if done frequently. Now, here is a practical golden tip. Whenever possible, choose to charge your cell phone slowly, especially at night or when you are at home. 5W chargers or even charging directly from the computer's USB port can be allies in these moments. Another smart suggestion is to use chargers with an adaptive charging function, which reduces the electric current as the cell phone approaches 100%. This helps a lot to preserve the health of the battery. And that's not all. Many users have the habit of leaving their cell phones charging all night with a thick protective case, without realizing that the device can overheat. In this case, the tip is simple and effective. Remove the case while charging. This small action reduces heating and helps preserve the battery for more cycles. After all, every cycle counts, and taking good care of them is like doing preventive maintenance on your car. You may never have stopped to think about it, but the secret to a long-lasting battery is in the details. And while many people only worry about finding free sockets, there is another silent villain that steals the charge without mercy and often goes unnoticed. If there's one thing that consumes a lot of battery, it's your cell phone screen. And for good reason. It's the largest physical component. It shines brightly and also reacts to touch. High brightness and the time the screen remains on are among the biggest battery drainers. Many people don't even realize it, but simply leaving the brightness on maximum out of habit, even indoors, drains energy like a constantly dripping faucet. It's like driving with the high beams on in a tunnel. Beautiful, but completely unnecessary. A simple and powerful tip. Turn on automatic brightness. It may seem like a small thing, but this setting adjusts the light according to the environment and saves more than you might think. Another excellent practice is to reduce the time the screen is inactive. You know that time when it stays on without anyone touching it? If you set it to turn off after 15 or 30 seconds, you'll notice the difference in consumption. These are adjustments that fit into anyone's routine and that, added together, result in huge energy savings. Want a real example? Imagine someone who spends the day at the office and then goes to the gym. This cycle repeats itself daily. Now, if this person leaves the brightness at maximum all the time, by the end of the day they will already have 10% battery left. But if they use dark mode, reduce the brightness and activate short screen time, they will be able to get home with enough charge to order food, watch a video or make a call without having to run to the outlet. A small adjustment that becomes a huge relief. It's funny to think about how we have become accustomed to leaving everything on automatic, except for the things that really should be on. And the most interesting thing is that, even with low brightness and conscious use of the screen, there is another detail that many people ignore and that, in the most critical moments, can quickly drain the battery. When your battery is low and you need to take a photo urgently, this is a bad combination. Your phone's camera and flash are among the features that consume the most energy immediately. Simply opening the camera activates sensors, stabilizers, and real-time processing. If you add this to the use of the flash, the remaining battery can run out in a matter of minutes. And the worst part, if your phone turns off in the meantime, in addition to losing the photo, you can compromise data that hasn't yet been saved. That's why, when your battery is below 15%, the best tip is to save as much as possible and avoid functions that require a lot of power. This includes not only photos, but also videos, video calls, and augmented reality apps. At these times, prioritize the basics: messages, emergency calls, and the famous airplane mode when you're not using it. This helps to hold on to the last few percent, like someone protecting the last drops of water in the desert. Now, a practical and very common example. Are you at a concert or going out with friends and want to record everything with your phone that's almost out of battery? It's best to record in low resolution and avoid using the flash. Or, if you can, ask someone with more battery to record and send it to you later. It may seem frustrating, but it's a strategic move. After all, what's the point of capturing the moment and not being able to call a car to take you home later? Quick curiosity. The LED flash can consume almost twice as much energy as the screen of certain models. And even so, many people turn it on without thinking twice. Now, if you've already realized how much these little details make a difference in everyday life, just wait until you see what comes next. So tell me, how many of these tips have you already applied in your daily life? And more importantly, how many have you ignored, thinking they didn't make a difference? The truth is that, by understanding each curiosity behind the most common habits, you start to use your cell phone more intelligently, and saving battery, time, and even money. Now it's up to you. Will you continue wasting energy for no reason, or will you start applying what you learned here today? Because what separates those who live on the plug and those who master their own device is attitude. And if you like these tips and want to continue learning in a light, direct way and with that touch of, why didn't anyone tell me this before? You now know what to do. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications and share this video with those who are always complaining about the battery. Let's change the way we use technology with more intelligence and less suffering.